Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. I hope you can hear me and welcome to the latest transfer news. Now, can I just start by saying, thank you for everyone who's already here. Make sure to hit the like button. Can I just start by saying, I have never seen a team selling and getting rid of so many players in January. This is actually the first time. I'm actually kind of afraid we might finish the players and end up selling the stadium next. That's how concerned I am. We are getting rid of so many things. Every single morning when I wake up, it's a different player leaving Arsenal. Every single morning when I wake up, it's another player leaving Arsenal. Next up is going to be the stadium. Next up, Kroenke will come back to England and find out that Arteta and Edu have already sold the stadium. That's how crazy it is. But the weird thing is that these players who are leaving Arsenal 1 year ago, we wouldn't really mind. And deep inside your heart, I don't think you really mind Kolasinac leaving Arsenal. I don't think you really mind Pablo Mari leaving Arsenal. I don't think you really mind Maitland-Niles leaving Arsenal. It's just because of the kind of situation we are in right now. We can't afford to get rid of all these players because we don't have players. We've gotten rid of like 6-7 players. We're getting rid of more before the end of the season, before the end of the transfer. And by the end of the season, there are more players who are going to leave. The likes of Lacazette will leave. The likes of El Neni could leave. There's a huge chance by the time we get to June, you could have like 8 Arsenal players only, something crazy like that. But thank you guys for joining. We will be talking about very many different stories. The ones you can see on screen, like CALVERT, LEWIN, Isak, most of them will not join Arsenal, but I'll just tell you the latest on all of them. I'm not saying they're joining us. We're just going to give you the latest news. We'll talk about Melo. We'll talk about Renato Sanchez. We'll talk about Douglas Luiz, Aubameyang, obviously, and Callum Chambers, who left Arsenal yesterday. So the question I've asked on YouTube in the poll, if you're watching on Facebook, you can comment down below. I've asked, do you really want to get rid of Aubameyang this January? Are you okay with him leaving this January, or do you want Arsenal to keep him until the end of the season? Or do you want Arsenal to do with Aubameyang? Let me know in the comment section. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to comment down below. So I think we'll start with Chambers, since that is a done deal. Let's start with Callum Chambers moving to Aston Villa last night. Yet another player who's leaving Arsenal. Niles left, Pablo Mari left, as I said, Balogun left. So many players, Kolasinac, I'm even not remembering some of them. And in the last 6-7 months, we've lost so many defenders. So in the next year, by the time we get to August, I think this Arsenal team will be really different from what it was 1 year ago, which I don't mind. Some of these players needed to leave, but they needed to leave with us buying players. So Callum Chambers has officially joined Aston Villa. I really don't like Aston Villa by there recently. They've been bullying us so many times. The last couple of years, they obviously bought Martinez. They obviously almost tried to buy Smith Rowe. Obviously, there's a time they beat us like in 4 games in a row in the league, and in friendlies, they beat us home and away. Last season, they trashed us home and away. I really don't like Aston Villa nowadays. And now they've taken Chambers away from us. The weird thing about this deal is that he's left Arsenal on a free. his contract was expiring at the end of the season, so we had the chance of keeping him for another 6 months or 5 months, and then you can get rid of him in the next season after the season ends. But you didn't. You decided to give him out on a free right now. So that basically means they did not want him at Arsenal at all. So Callum Chambers joined Arsenal back in 2014, and he joined us as a 19-year-old. He was really promising then. During that time, I think Lallana went to Liverpool. I think Lambert went to Liverpool. I think Luke Shaw went to Manchester United. I think Victor Wanyama went to Tottenham. So many players left Southampton to go to different teams. Van Dijk left to Liverpool as well a couple of seasons later. And I think Luke Shaw's done okay at United. I think Wanyama did okay at Tottenham. I think Lallana did okay at Liverpool. I'm not sure you can say the same about Chambers, unfortunately. He's had so many problems with injuries. He's had so many loan deals. He's gone out on loan a couple of times. Every time he plays, sometimes you don't know if he's going to play at the right back position. Is he going to be a centre back? I always felt like he was a bit slow in terms of strength. I don't think like he's ever had the strength to deal with strikers like Aguero, Drogba, those kind of strikers that will try and bully you. I've never seen him as that striker. So Callum Chambers, I'll show you the stats of Callum Chambers. So here it is. I made this graphic from Callum Chambers. He joined us at the bottom. 2014, 2015 is the first time he joined us. He played 23 games that season. He scored 1 goal. He had 1 assist, and he picked up 8 yellow cards. And since that season, he has never played for us more than 20 games ever again. 2015, 2016, he played 12 games for us that season, didn't score, didn't assist. And I'm sure some of those games are from the bench and stuff, something like that. 2016, 2017, he only played 1 game. And that is because after he played that 1 game, he moved on to Middlesbrough that season. He went to Middlesbrough and played for Middlesbrough. I think they were in the Premier League that time, yeah? I think that was their season in the Premier League. He played for Middlesbrough that season. And for them, I think he played something like 30 games or 28 or 29, something there, almost 30 games for Middlesbrough that season. So he played for Middlesbrough in 1 season more than he had done for Arsenal the previous couple of seasons. And then obviously the next season he rejoined Arsenal. He played 12 games only. And some of these games, these are Premier League games, these are only Premier League games. Europa League games or Carabao Cup games are not included. And then 2018, 2019, you can see it's missing. He was not at Arsenal. That is because he went to Fulham and he played at Fulham for, I think, 30 games or something for 1 season, played more than 30 games for them. And he played there as a midfielder. The moment he rejoined Arsenal, he never actually played as a midfielder for us, never. We never saw him in that position. 2019, 2020, 14 games. 2020, 2021, 10 games. And this season he's played 2 games for us. So Callum Chambers has never really been able to play even 4 games in a row in an Arsenal shirt. Those games since 2014, that is 8 years. If I can do that calculation quickly, 23 plus 12, that is like 35, 36, 38. That's way less than 100 games. And he's been at Arsenal for 8 years. He's never ever gotten anywhere close to 100 Premier League games. So, and that is under different managers. So you have to worry about that. I think he could do okay at Aston Villa. I don't think he'll play as in the first team for Aston Villa. I think they have Cash, they have Digne, they have Mings, they have Konza. From the bench, they usually bring Courtney House. They usually bring Target as well. So I don't think he'll play. He'll cover for a few games, but I don't think he'll ever play. But Callum Chambers has moved to Aston Villa. The question I have for you guys watching on Facebook and YouTube, out of 10, what would you rate Callum Chambers' time at Arsenal? Out of 10, what would you give Callum Chambers' time at Arsenal? For me, I'd probably say something like a 4, honestly. I'd give him like a 4 out of 10, because I think like 2 of those years he was out injured. Some of them used to play with Kolasinac and Mustafi, the kind of mistakes people were making in the team. There's only like 2 moments I remember from Callum Chambers. One of them was, I think, an FA Cup goal he scored against Burnley some like 4 or 5 years ago. A very good goal that season. And I think one cross he had for, I think Martinelli or something. That's literally the only thing I remember about Callum Chambers. So I'm pretty sure if you dig deep inside your heart, I don't think any of you would miss Callum Chambers. So I think you can just say goodbye to him. In the next 1 year, I don't think any of you will even remember Callum Chambers. I hope he does well at Aston Villa. He's living on a good note with the fans. Like, he's not living like a Adebayo or like a Van Persie where we hate them. No, he's going to leave and we're still going to like remember him. Yes, as an Arsenal player, we don't hate him. But I think it's only good for him. He's never really been an Arsenal player really that much, unfortunately. He's had a couple of loan spells where he's played more than that. And Callum Chambers is definitely not the first player who's left Arsenal. Niles left, Pablo Mari left, Balogun left, and so many others. And another one who also could be leaving is this guy, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He has been linked to Barcelona and Juventus. Obviously, before he was linked to Al Nassr of Saudi Arabia, he does not want to go to out of Europe, basically does not want to go to Middle East or Asia or wherever. He wants to stay in Europe, and I'm pretty sure he would want to stay at Arsenal because of the money. I really don't want to judge anyone about loving money and everything. I'm not sure how he feels. Maybe he really does not want to stay because of money. Maybe he actually does want to leave. We never know. But he has been linked to Barcelona and Juventus. So the question I asked on YouTube is, and for you guys watching on Facebook, make sure to comment, Aubameyang, should he leave right now, or do you think he can help us between now and the end of the season? Because I have a feeling, like I have a 60% feeling in my heart that he will leave this January. And if he leaves, I don't know how to feel about it because, one, we don't have any other players. If we get rid of Aubameyang and also Nketiah, who the hell is going to play as a striker? If Lacazette goes down with one injury, we have no one to play in that position. And we have like 19 crucial games coming up if you're going to get that top 4. Otherwise, if we don't get top 4, we've wasted another year. Not necessarily wasted, because I feel like we've helped the likes of Tomiyasu, Ramsdale play with each other. They've obviously understood each other this year. But in terms of trophies and maybe improving on our positions, I feel like it's another wasted year. So let's start with Juventus. I don't think he'll go to Juventus, mostly because I don't think we have a good business relationship recently with Juventus. Obviously, they stole Vlahovic from Arsenal. Vlahovic didn't want to join Arsenal, but he basically went to Juventus, and Arsenal wouldn't be happy with that. They wouldn't want to give Juventus yet another player. And also, you remember last season, Locatelli as well. We wanted Locatelli. He went to Juventus as well. We missed out on him. So I don't think Arsenal will give yet another player to Juventus. I don't think so. Barcelona, though, Barcelona is a huge possibility. The side on the left is more possible than the side on the right for me. I think he'd also want to go to Spain. Personally, I think he'd want to go and try Spain. He's been in Italy, he's been in France, he's been in England. I think he'd want to go and try Barcelona. And also another reason why I think that could happen is we've been linked to Dembele for some reason. I don't know why we've been linked to Dembele. Dembele and Aubameyang played together at Dortmund a few years ago. Dembele is currently playing for Barcelona. He was signed for more than 100 million, but it has never worked out. Barcelona have wasted so much money the last few years with Griezmann, Coutinho, Dembele. None of them have ever worked for them. So the reason I think this deal could happen, we could see Aubameyang going to Barcelona, and then we could easily see Dembele coming to Arsenal, which for me, I think would be absolutely crazy. If we got Dembele at Arsenal, I think that would be one of the worst transfers ever, personally. Dembele has been at Barcelona like for 4 or 5 years, and I think he's been injured for like 4 of them. Why the hell are we supposed to be taking Dembele? He's always injured. He's always been injured. Barcelona fans actually make fun of him being injured. That's how much he's always injured for them. So I think it's likely because there's that chance that Barcelona don't want Dembele and Arsenal don't want Aubameyang, so just get rid of him and just give us that guy. That could happen. You could see Dembele at Arsenal, and if he joins, I'll still support him, but I don't see why we should be getting Dembele. He's always injured, and that is a deal I see that very possible. I think we could get rid of him to Barcelona, and then they could probably give us Dembele. Yes, Juventus could be an option if we are to get Arthur Melo. Arthur Melo could have been a good option for us, but I'm hearing that that deal could be off, as written on the screen there on the second mark just above my head. The chances of seeing Brazilian midfielder Arthur Melo at the Emirates on loan until the end of the season from Juventus are in doubt, as the Serie A giants are seeking an 18-month agreement. So could it be possible for us to tell them, you know what, you can have Aubameyang, but give us Arthur Melo like on a permanent deal or something? Could they agree with that? That was from The Athletic. That was quoted from The Athletic. That is also an option, but it would be very, very hard. But getting Dembele from Barcelona and Aubameyang to Spain, I'm not sure about that. I really do feel Aubameyang could do more than what Dembele can do for us in the next 3 months. I really do feel that way. He will need time to adapt. He's never played for an English team. He's always injured. The one thing I've always loved about Aubameyang during his time at Arsenal is every time everyone else got injured, Aubameyang rarely got injured. He used to play at least 34 games, 35 games in a season. he rarely got injured. That is the one thing I loved about Aubameyang. He was always fit, and that's the kind of striker we need right now. Someone who can play and at least at 5 games. We've tried that with the defenders. Ben White usually never misses games with injuries. Obviously, Tomiyasu recently has been because of COVID, but most of the players have played very many games. Gabriel only because of the red card. Ramsdale has played like every single game. That's what we need. We need to build something and a group of players who are always there, like every single time. So David Ornstein, this is what David Ornstein said. Last thing on Aubameyang, exclusive: Barcelona and Juventus make official approaches to sign Aubameyang on loan until the summer. So that is the other thing I don't understand. If it's on loan, how does it help Arsenal if we are getting rid of Aubameyang on loan and they're still asking us to pay his money? How does that benefit us? Get rid of Aubameyang, let him play for Barcelona for 4 months without them paying anything, and then we're still paying his wages. You'd rather just keep him on the bench because you don't have players. Just keep him at Arsenal, just keep him on the bench. I literally do not understand that. If they were buying him and they were offering us 15 or 18 million, that is fine. I'd be like, okay, fine. Thank you, Aubameyang, for everything. He's been our best January signing ever. That is undisputed. He joined us immediately, started scoring goals. The next season, he was top scorer. The next season, he single-handedly won us the FA Cup. So Aubameyang's time at Arsenal, unlike Chambers have said it would be a 4 out of 10. If I was to rate Aubameyang's time at Arsenal, it would be 8 out of 10 because I think he's really done a lot for us. The last 1 year, not so much, but the first 3 years were incredible. Like, we've never had a striker who was scoring that many goals, like since Van Persie and Thierry Henry. So he also goes on to say, unclear what Arsenal will do. Talks ongoing with both. If Arsenal grant exit destination, likely to be influenced by Morata. So Morata is being linked by other teams, but could Morata join Arsenal? Is it a possibility? I really do think it is. I mean, with Arsenal, there's some players that usually get linked to so many months, so many weeks, like the likes of Tierney, Pepe. Arsenal want Pepe, Arsenal want Tierney, Arsenal want Ben White. Next week, Arsenal are close to signing Ben White. Arsenal in talks with Ben White. That always happens. But eventually, we usually do get at least 10% of them. 90% usually go away. So that's 10% you usually get. Man, this is so confusing, man. This is so confusing. Morata. There is a chance, what I was trying to say is Morata, no one has heard about Morata joining Arsenal. Just like Tomiyasu, no one had ever heard about Tomiyasu joining Arsenal. Maybe you could see someone like Morata joining Arsenal for 4 months. Would you want Morata to join Arsenal for 4 months in exchange with Aubameyang? That could be something that could happen that none of us expected. None of us expected Tomiyasu to join Arsenal on the final day. That could be something. So I would not be surprised if that happens, especially when Arsenal are desperate. Desperate things usually happen with Arsenal. You find us buying Denis Suarez, you find us buying Lucas Perez, you find us buying Park Chu-young, those kind of players. I would not be surprised if we got Morata for 4 months and then Aubameyang goes the other direction. So that is also a possibility of another player leaving Arsenal. Aubameyang is the second one after Callum Chambers has left. Aubameyang is the second one. And there's this guy as well, Nketiah. Nketiah could be another player leaving Arsenal. I understand that he does not want to stay at all. Arteta's tried to convince him a couple of times to stay, but he just doesn't want. Not that it really bothers us really that much. I don't think any of you would cry because Nketiah has left Arsenal. I don't really think so. But the problem is we don't have players. So if Nketiah leaves, who remains as the backup? Unless Arsenal are going to surprise us with 2 or 3 players in the last 2 days. That's the only thing you can think. I don't think you can sit down and say Arsenal will not sign players because we'll be finished if we don't sign at least 1 player. We'll be totally finished. There's no players remaining. We are getting rid of like 7, 8 players in January. Some players who are remaining don't want to be here, and Nketiah, Len, all of them want to leave as well. So we might find ourselves in a position where we don't have any players at all. So Newcastle, the rich guys want Nketiah. They could end up signing Nketiah. I'm even understanding that his medical could be done as soon as this weekend. Crystal Palace wanted him, obviously Vieira, former Arsenal player, but we've never agreed with them in terms of money. And you know that is something Newcastle don't lack. They have a lot of money. So hit the like button if you're enjoying the content. Let me know if you'd get rid of Nketiah, or do you want us to keep him until the end of the season? Again, for Nketiah, if it's not a permanent deal, I'm not interested. If it's a loan deal, I don't really care about loan deals. If you just sell him and get that 10 million, whatever it is, just get rid of him. So Nketiah could be another player to leave Arsenal. That will mean he will join Maitland-Niles in terms of leaving. He will join Pablo Mari in terms of leaving. He'll join Balogun. So many players have left, man. 7 or something players have left Arsenal this window, and that I've never seen a team getting rid of so many players in January. We are literally the first team that has gotten rid of that many players in one transfer window, especially January. That is always hard. So we've covered Chambers going to Aston Villa. We've covered Aubameyang potentially going to Barcelona or Juventus, and a potential of us getting Morata from Juventus or getting Dembele from Barcelona in a swap deal. Talked about Nketiah. We've also talked about Arthur Melo. So the reports, as you can see on screen, is Arthur Melo deal could be off. They might not give us, because I think Arsenal wanted a 4-month loan, but they wanted like an 18-month loan for Arsenal. But Aubameyang's thing could be a difference in this deal. Maybe if Arsenal offered them Aubameyang, they could give us Arthur Melo on a permanent deal. So that's the fourth story. I have to cover this guy, although I know none of them will join. I have to cover them. I did a video yesterday. If you're watching this on replay, the link will be in the description. I compared the two of them in terms of how they could help us. Could any of them join? Because CALVERT-LEWIN has a problem, because Everton currently have a problem with the manager situation. But I'm hearing that could be settled by tonight. They could announce a new manager tomorrow morning, either Lampard or Duncan Ferguson on a permanent deal. CALVERT-LEWIN would be good for us, but again, injury problems, and I think that this is like 5% happening, really. I don't think CALVERT-LEWIN will join Arsenal right now. Maybe at the end of the season. I would be so happy if we got someone like that, because of the heading ability that we need. How many times do we see Tierney crossing the ball? How many times do we see maybe Saka crossing the ball and Nketiah heading off target, Lacazette heading off target? I think with CALVERT-LEWIN, it had something different that we've not had. Someone who can head the ball, someone who can bully the defender, someone who's going to always be in the box, like the way the likes of Adebayo used to be and Eduardo. We needed someone like that. So CALVERT-LEWIN, we still have to wait and see. I personally think if Lampard joins, I think he won't be leaving. But if they don't get a manager soon, it could be a chance. There could be a chance of that happening. And also, Alexander Isak, unfortunately, I'm hearing that Real Sociedad have said, listen, 90 million euros or something like that. If you're not going to pay that, he is going to stay at Real Sociedad until the end of the season. And I don't think Arsenal is going to ever pay any money like that, especially not to an Alex Isak player who has scored 4 goals this season. We are looking for strikers to score goals, and Isak has scored 1, 2, 3, 4 goals this season. Aubameyang has not played for like 1 year, and he still has more goals than Isak. So you rather just bring back Aubameyang for 3 months instead of splashing 90 million for Isak, and just try and get someone else on a loan deal, because Isak has not scored. He scored 1 goal since October. He scored 1 goal since October. I talked about that in the last video. Yes, he's good in things like direct free kicks. He can dribble and all that, but he'll need time to settle in England and all. So many problems. So I don't think we'll get any of these strikers. So the one striker we could get, it could be someone we've not been linked to. We could end up getting someone like a Morata or someone from Brighton on loan, something we didn't expect. Imagine if we got Mope at Arsenal after all the drama between him and Arsenal. I wonder what Ty from AFTV would say if Mope joined Arsenal. So CALVERT-LEWIN and Isak, that's the latest. As you can see on screen, it was written after missing out on Dusan Vlahovic. I'm tired of hearing that name, by the way. I just feel like I need to remove that name from my head. I've seen him throughout for the last 1 month. With the Fiorentina striker joining Juventus, the Gunners are pushing to sign Everton's Dominic Calvert-Lewin or Real Sociedad's Alexander Isak before the deadline. If we got any of these players, it would be a massive surprise. That would be, I'd definitely give a round of applause to Arteta, and they do. And why was Arteta in USA and you were talking to Kroenke? Surely did not go to watch like an ice hockey game or a baseball game or something like that. He definitely went to talk about transfers. So surely they will get players. So that's the latest on Calvert-Lewin and Isak. Personally, I think Calvert-Lewin will not join unless something dramatic happens and they don't get a manager right now, Everton. And Isak, unless we splash that money, unless we pay the release clause, I don't think we'll get him. And I don't think he wants to join anyway right now. I don't think he wants to leave that place right now. The other one, the deal that we've gotten through the door is the goalkeeper, Matt Turner, but there's 2 problems with this. I don't really want to hear about a goalkeeper right now, because that is not our problem right now. And number 2, he's not even joining us in January. He's going to join us at the end of the season. But in case you watch MLS football, right now the season is over. I do watch MLS football, but the season is over. we can keep an eye on him because the season will start before the English season ends. So you can keep an eye on him. New England Revolution is the team. They play in the Eastern Conference. Yeah, there's a lot of Eastern Conference and Western Conference. I'm pretty sure they play in the Eastern Conference. In USA, it's crazy. It's hard to understand their leagues, but yeah, he's going to play for Arsenal next season. That is because Leno is going to leave. Here we are again talking about another Arsenal player leaving. By August, we'll have gotten rid of 15 players this year very much. And as I said at the beginning, if you're not careful, we'll also get rid of our stadium. The way we are selling players, next up, we'll be selling our stadium. I'm even worried. I'm very, very worried. So Matt Tan is the completed deal. That is the only signing we've made, and he's a goalkeeper. He'll probably be joining us. He'll definitely be joining us at the end of the season, at the beginning of next season. And then let's talk about this guy, Douglas Luiz. I mean, I've always liked him as a midfielder. I've always loved the Aston Villa midfield. So let's see what they have to say here first. The Gunners are expected to firm up their pursuit of Aston Villa midfielder Douglas Luiz before the end of the transfer window. Now, what is the reason for Chambers going to Aston Villa? Surely they must have talked about something, like at least give us Douglas Luiz or something. Surely you can just keep giving Aston Villa players, and they've never given us any player at all. So I'm hoping with now they have Coutinho, even though he doesn't play as an actual midfielder, but he can fill in. They have the likes of McGinn, Jacob Ramsey is playing so well for them. Just give us Douglas Luiz, please. I'd be so happy with this signing. He's currently playing for Brazil. They drew with Ecuador 1-1 yesterday. He would be such a solid midfielder to have next to Thomas Partey. Very, very solid. He basically has everything that you don't have. That fight in midfield. Someone who can just be disciplined and stay in his position. He already has the Premier League experience as well. We have a lot of Brazilians, so it wouldn't take him too much time to adapt at Arsenal with Martinelli, with Gabriel. We have Brazilian players already, but this deal would cost us money. This would cost us at least 31 to 36 million, something like that. I don't think that is bad for someone who's going to serve you for the next 4 years, a 4-year contract or something. That isn't bad. So I wouldn't mind if we went for Douglas Luiz. This is a signing I definitely want. But the worry is, will Aston Villa agree to get rid of him right now? Unless Steven Gerrard doesn't like him that much. That is a possibility, but I think it's hard to not like players like Douglas Luiz and Ruben Neves and those kind of players. I'm trying to look at where, what do you guys think of Douglas Luiz, by the way? Let me check your comments before I go to the next story, before I talk more about Douglas Luiz. See what you guys are saying. Niall says, hello, Glenn Buddy. I hope you're well. I am, but I'd be better if we got players. Great to see you, Niall. Cookie, how are you? Niall says, for me, he needs to go now. I know he's getting linked to Barcelona and Juventus, and Chambers left for Villa out of the blue. So Niall says he needs to leave right now, Aubameyang. Joel says, Oba should stay. I don't know why we must sell him because of a mistake. If you're not getting a striker, don't sell. So I do agree with you, Joel. I agree with you, especially in the first part. If it was sell him, let me just correct. If it was sell him, that is fine. But getting rid of him on loan and we are still paying his wages, I don't see the benefit of that. We can at least use him for one game, at least for 15 minutes from the bench, because we don't have enough players. Instead of having the youngsters like Biereth, who will never play, right now until they mature a bit, because we'll always have them on the bench, but we'll never see them play, the likes of Patino. We'd rather have Aubameyang there instead of having Nketiah. That's personally me. I'd rather have Aubameyang on the bench than Nketiah. So if you're not going to sell him and you want to take him out on loan, I don't see the benefit of that. And surely I don't think it's because of a mistake. They need to tell us what happened, because how many players, like Xhaka, how many mistakes has Xhaka done at Arsenal? And he's still playing. So you can't tell me because Aubameyang was late, that's why he's been punished for 3 months. That is just crazy. And I saw Adebayo being interviewed the other day. He was at the African Cup of Nations watching, and he was asked, what do you think about Aubameyang's situation at Arsenal? And he said, I'm not surprised. That is always Arsenal for you. Aubameyang doesn't like, not Aubameyang, Adebayo doesn't like Arsenal. But even him, the time he left Arsenal, I don't think he left in good terms. So that's why he celebrated against us for Tottenham and Man City. Obviously, he's going to say bad things about Arsenal, but maybe he could be right. Maybe we treat our players very harshly. Maybe Ozil, maybe Saliba, maybe Guendouzi. Maybe they never get chances to make things right or something like that. Joel also says, besides, I have always said that I won't take Arsenal anywhere. We will finish 7th this season. Mark my words. I hope not, Joel. I really hope not, especially not after having such a good season so far. Okay, not this month, but December. Look at how good Arsenal was playing in December, scoring goals, keeping clean sheets. November as well, we had the likes of Martinelli getting nominated for Player of the Month. We had goals. We had got the goal of the month for December. It was such a good month for us, and we thought we were really creating something. But obviously, it went all down after that. So Joel says Ateta won't take us anywhere. John says for Oba, if we can get a replacement like right now, I think Oba should go. So for me, get a replacement first, and then you can get rid of Oba, but not the other way around. I don't trust them. I don't trust them, because if you get rid of Aubameyang right now, and you're only left with Nketiah on the bench, I'll basically give up on the season. I'd rather have Aubameyang there than Nketiah. That's just me. Cookie says, can we get Liverpool to deputize for Tommy? They signed him the other day, man. Cookie, they will definitely not get rid of him. They bought him from Chelsea the other day, and they'll ask for 35 million from us. And I don't think we need a right back right now. And he's also currently injured. Cookie's been out injured for now. Need a backup centre back, as we have just 3. Getting a midfielder is crucial, and we still need a striker. 4 players in 3 days, or not top 4 for us. It's just crazy. We have 3 centre backs remaining. Ben White, Gabriel, and on the bench, Holding. Pablo Mari is gone. Chambers is gone. There are some players I don't even know if they're going to come back next season. Remember, Saliba is still an Arsenal player. Remember, Bellerin is still an Arsenal player. At left back, we have Tini and Tavares. At right back, we only have Tomiyasu, who's been getting sick a lot of times the last 2 months. We have Cedric, who's currently injured. Surely they're going to get players. We don't have enough players. Unless, if we had like 5 games remaining of the season, that is fine. But if you look at our fixtures, we still have to play Wolves twice. We'll talk about a Wolves player in terms of transfers. We'll have to play United. That will be a big game. We have to travel to Tottenham. That will be a big game. We have to travel to Chelsea. You know what happened the last time they played us. We have to play Liverpool again. You all know what happens every time we play Liverpool. There's so many hard games. You have to play Aston Villa. Like, we can't go into this game just depending on Isak and Martinelli every single game. It can't. Emmanuel says very impressive. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Habib said 3%. I think he meant in terms of the rating for Chambers, like 3 out of 10, I think. John says Chambers, for me, it's a 2 out of 10. And I can't blame you, John. I gave him a 4 just being nice, because I think sometimes he did well on the loan spells, and sometimes he never gave him chances. But apart from that, nah, I think it was very, very underwhelming, because all the other players who left Southampton, look at Van Dijk. Look at Sadio Mane, who left Southampton as well. Those players can you compare them with Chambers? Even Luke Shaw has done miles better than Chambers. Lallana at Liverpool. All those players left Southampton at the same time. And I think Chambers was like one of the few who never did very well in their team. So, and he was very promising as well. Mioba says he was not a good player. Let him leave to Aston Villa. So Effort doesn't really like Chambers. He's happy Chambers has left. RK says, how are you doing? I'm doing good. RK Cookie says, Oba can stay or go. I don't mind. Just make a decision. Cookie just wants players signed. He doesn't care how many stay and how many leave. Habib says, we'll still need Oba because I'm not sure. I think we'll still need Oba because I'm not sure that we are signing any striker this January. Habib, there's a feeling inside of me that says we are going to sign a striker. I don't think they're that crazy not to sign someone. It's like, if they don't sign someone, it's like basically they rather just go and walk at what are they called? Like a minefield. They rather just go and walk on a minefield and just blow up ourselves, because that's basically what we are doing here. It's basically like suicidal. If we don't get a striker or a midfielder, that is suicidal. How many times will Nketiah help you in the league? Those fixtures I've just mentioned, how many games will Nketiah help you? He won't. And we can't just use Martinelli every single game. Martinelli was out for 1 year recently. We need to make sure he doesn't get injured again. Habib also says, I think, I think you're just continue. Let's just keep him than loaning him and still pay his wages. Minor says Liverpool. What do you mean about Liverpool? I'm not sure what you mean. In terms of fixtures, yeah, we are going to play Liverpool again in the Premier League. Remember, that was the Carabao Cup. We are going to play Liverpool. We are not escaping that, Minor. We are not escaping that. We are going to play Liverpool again in the league. We've played them so many times. I'm just tired of playing them. And then next time they'll have Salah and Mane. So, yeah. Habib says, sorry to say that, but I really hate so-called Vlahovic. I don't like him as well. I mean, he doesn't have to come to England, doesn't have to join Arsenal, up to him. Is Mavropanos still at the club, or did we sell him? He's still at the club. That's another one I forgot, Cookie. He's on loan as well. But Mavropanos, for me, I don't really need him at Arsenal. We need a right back. We only have Tommy, Cedric. Cedric is injured. Chambers, Ainsley, and Bellerin are all not at the club. So, yeah, so many. So, Douglas Luiz is the player we're bringing into Aston Villa. I really hope we can get someone like this. I'd be so happy if we got someone like a Douglas Luiz. They're talking about 32 million plus 3 million add-ons. I think that is doable, really. Why was he talking to Kroenke back in USA? Surely gave him some money. Let's see. And then I obviously mentioned Wolves earlier. Ruben Neves is still the player that people are talking about. I really doubt they're going to give us a Ruben Neves, especially if you go and you look at the Premier League table right now. If Wolves beat Arsenal, they will be above us on the table. Yeah, so they're definitely not going to give us players right now. I really doubt. But Ruben Neves, unless you're going to splash 50 million for him, I saw him playing against Brentford the other day with Moutinho, the way they controlled the midfield. They went to Old Trafford the other day and they beat Manchester United as well, the way they controlled the midfield as well. Very good players. I'd love him at Arsenal. He definitely add more, but yet another player we've been linked to for like 2 years now, and it never seems like we're going to get him. But I'd definitely love someone like him. It adds something different. But there's something I'm wondering. If we got Neves or Douglas Luiz, does that mean Xhaka is going to stay on the bench? Because I don't think Xhaka will ever sit on the bench. Unless they're going to change the formation and play with 3 midfielders. Maybe Xhaka, Ruben Neves, and that's just a dream. Xhaka, Ruben Neves, and Partey, because I'm pretty sure Xhaka will not be sitting on the bench. That is, I'm 100% sure of that. So if we sign a midfielder, where does he play? Because Thomas Partey is also back now. His suspension is done as well. So Partey and Xhaka will play in the next game. Yes, we need another midfielder in case something happens to them, but we need another midfielder to start ahead of Xhaka. But knowing Xhaka and how every single manager loves him, I don't think Xhaka will be sitting on the bench. That is why we need to go for a striker right now. Speaking of strikers, we've been linked to this guy as well, Victor Osimhen from Napoli. He plays for Nigeria. He did not actually go to the African Cup of Nations. Nigeria did well in the first few games without them, and the likes of Dennis from Watford. And Osimhen has been scoring a few goals for Napoli since last season. I think recently he has been injured, but beggars cannot be choosers. Literally right now, if you offer me any striker, I will take them. Whichever striker you're going to give me right now, I'll definitely take them because we cannot keep choosing. We have how many days remaining? So Friday is basically almost over. For the guys on the West Coast area, maybe it could be like morning Friday, but for the guys in Europe, Africa, Asia, right now it's Friday and some people are already on Saturday. So we just have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and that is it, 3 days. It would be a miracle to get deals done in 3 days. It would be panic buys. It will be 2011 all over again, signing Andre Santos, Mertesacker, Mikel Arteta on the final day, all those players. So it's Osimhen, I don't think we'll get him as well. I think this is a deal that could happen at the end of the season. So let me give you my thoughts of how I feel about these deals happening out of 10. Calvert-Lewin to Arsenal, out of 10, 1 out of 10. Isak to Arsenal, let's say 3 out of 10. Nketiah to Newcastle, 8 out of 10, could be done this weekend. Aubameyang to Barcelona, maybe 6 out of 10. Aubameyang to Juventus, maybe 5 out of 10. There've not been rumors about Morata, but this is just how I feel. I feel like if you could give Aubameyang to Juventus and they could end up giving us Morata, that is something none of us expect, but that is something that could end up happening. And Barcelona with Dembele, they could ask for Aubameyang and then they give us Dembele, although I don't like Dembele because he's also always injured. So that deal to Barcelona, I'm going to say 6 out of 10, Juventus 5 out of 10. Matt Turner is already done. He'll join at the end of the season. Douglas Luiz, I'm going to say 4 out of 10 because his money is reachable. The kind of money they're asking for is we can get to that kind of money. Ruben Neves, I'd say 1 out of 10. Osimhen, I'd say maybe 2 out of 10. So as you can see, there's no deal that you can accurately say this could be done. So in terms of the news from, if I can just read the news on the screen, after missing out on Dusan Vlahovic with Fiorentina striker joining Juventus, the Gunners are pushing to sign Everton's Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Sociedad's Alex Isak, according to The Athletic. The chances of seeing Brazilian forward Arthur Melo, for me, that one would be a 4 out of 10. I think we can still revive it. I don't think it's totally done. At the Emirates on loan until the end of the season from Juventus are in doubt as the Serie A giants are seeking an 18-month agreement. Reports now suggest that the club could turn their attentions to Portuguese midfielder Renato Sanchez instead of Melo. Chances of that happening, Renato Sanchez, I'd say 3 out of 10. The Gunners are expected to firm up their pursuit of Aston Villa midfielder Douglas Luiz before the end of the transfer window. I'd say very possible. Let's wait and see. Meanwhile, Arsenal have agreed a deal to sign United States goalkeeper Matt Turner, 27. Arsenal is the funniest club in this world, I'm telling you. I said in another stream, back in 2006, 2007, 8 there, we had so many good forward players, Van Persie, Eduardo, Adebayo, Nasri, Fabregas, but we did not have defenders because Kolo Toure was about to retire, about to leave. We had the likes of Senderos, Sculacci, Sylvester. That time, we needed to buy a defender. We never bought defenders. We kept on adding forward players, bringing Wilshere, Ramsey from different teams, others from the academy. Then fast forward to, let's say, 2014, 2015, we had so many, like the likes of Sanchez, Ozil, but we didn't have a striker. Giroud was okay, but we didn't have a striker who could score 40 goals in a season. The time we needed to buy a striker, we went to buy a goalkeeper, Peter Cech. We went to buy a goalkeeper, Peter Cech. Fast forward, 2 years later, we needed someone to create chances for Aubameyang and Lacazette because Aubameyang was scoring 20, 30 goals every single season for us. Ozil was being left out of the team. We needed to get someone to create chances for him. We didn't do that. Instead, I think we went for Lichtstein or something, the defender. We went for defenders. And then now is the time we need a midfielder and a striker. We are signing a bloody goalkeeper. We should have signed a bloody goalkeeper when we had Almunia. We'd probably have won the league back in 2010 or 2011. And it's just crazy with Arsenal. Arsenal is the craziest club ever, man. Instead of signing this player, we go on to sign this player. But I'm not complaining. Leno is the other player who could probably leave Arsenal. It could be now. It could be at the end of the season. I think since the guy is joining at the end of the season, I think Leno could leave us at the end of the season, but I wouldn't be surprised if he left on the final day because they're looking at the season like we only have 18 games remaining. Maybe Ramsey could go through all those games. If something happens to him, maybe get 2 or 3, maybe get Okonkwo from the bench for 1 game or 2 games, depends, but that would be a risk. That's another huge risk. Obviously, Bruno Guimaraes is going to Newcastle United. I have no idea how Bruno Guimaraes goes to Newcastle United and not Arsenal when you need midfielders. It's absolutely crazy. Again, I'm just stunned, totally stunned. RK, thank you for the super chat, $5. I appreciate it. Maybe, as I always say, maybe I should send that to Edu. If they don't have money to sign players, maybe you should send that to them because we need players. Can any of you play in midfield? Can any of you play as a striker? We need someone. I don't care who we sign. There's so many other strikers. I don't know. Get Niklas Bentner from home. I don't care. Get him from retirement. Just get someone to play there. Get someone to play there. How many strikers can we get from the league? Obviously, I'd love someone like a Watkins, but we'll never get him. The teams like, let's say Norwich. Would you guys be interested in someone like a Timo Pukki for 2 years? Would you sign Timo Pukki from Norwich for like 2 years? Because if you pay the money, I don't think he'll stay at Norwich. He'll definitely join Arsenal. Would you be interested in someone like that to come and help out Lacazette for the 6 months or something? Who else? I know they're battling relegation. It would be hard for them to sell him. Which other team is in the league at the bottom? Newcastle. Okay, obviously Newcastle will not give you the likes of St. Maximin, but you get my point. Like those kind of players. Can none of them at least join us? At least one of them? Cookie says, does anyone think you can get Tony? That's another one. Can't you, I've even forgot him, can't you get like someone like a Tony? I know it's hard to get them on loan, but just do something. Just get someone in because we've had Nketiah for 7 years. Let's be honest. Nketiah has been at Arsenal for like 7 years. Lacazette has been at Arsenal since 2017. We are going to 2023. Aubameyang is now going to his 5th year at Arsenal. We need to refresh things. At least I think we're doing that, getting rid of all these players. I don't really mind Pablo Mari leaving Arsenal. I don't really mind Nketiah leaving. I don't really mind Kolasinac leaving. To be honest with you guys, I don't really care about Niles leaving Arsenal. I don't feel like he's ever been that go-to guy you can trust that much. So the longest serving Arsenal player now is El Neni, who joined back in 2016. Everyone else was at Arsenal before 2016. There's none of them who's here. So if you got rid of El Neni, got rid of Lacazette, got rid of Nketiah, there could be a chance all the Arsenal players would have joined after 2017, 2018 or something like that. Habib says, I would like it if we get one of those, either Luiz or Neves. Yeah, man, I definitely love it. My choice would be Neves, but Neves would be so hard. So I almost said David Luiz. Oh, goodness me, no, please. Don't bring back David Luiz. However desperate we are, don't bring back David Luiz. He gave away 5 penalties in a season. Please, no. Douglas Luiz, they're both called D. Luiz, so I'd love it. Peter says, very impressive. What, Arsenal's transfer business? I don't think so. I don't think Arsenal's transfer business is very impressive, but I really appreciate the comments. So that is the latest transfer news. There's definitely going to be more between now, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We'll definitely hear more. Don't give up hope. I'm sure you're going to sign a player. I'm sure you're going to sign at least one player. Just depends which kind of player we are going to sign. That's the problem. If they can go for a 19-year-old youngster that is not going to cheer people up. You know, if you go and you sign someone like a Douglas Luiz right now, all of us will be looking forward to that game against Wolves. We'll be like, you know what? Yes, we lost every single game in January, but let's see how Douglas Luiz does. If we go and get someone like, I don't know, someone like an Isak, I'll be like, wow, I can't wait to see how Smith Rowe Saka play with Isak in that game against Wolves. You'll be looking forward to stuff, but right now, I don't feel like anyone is filled up with confidence at all. There's a lot of players we thought who were going to join. Even Coutinho, we missed out on so many players. Jonathan David is still out there. He's gotten man of the match a couple of times, as you can see, for Lille in the Champions League this season. Could we get him? He scored a magnificent goal for Canada yesterday, his country, in the European Games for, no, not European Games, international games for his country, Canada. So let's just see, man. I'll be back with any updates we get. Let's hope we get someone. Keep praying, man. We need players. We seriously need players. Top 4 is there to get, especially that Manchester United have not signed anyone. Tottenham have not signed anyone. Everyone is rejecting Tottenham. It's in the history of the Tottenham. You know, Tottenham always being bottling everything. But now, since they're bottling something else, we should be taking advantage of that, because I feel like if we can get a striker and a midfielder, you can beat the likes of Wolves, you can beat the likes of Brentford we're about to play, you can beat the likes of Watford coming up. And last thing on Aubameyang, if you're not going to sell him, please don't loan him out and pay his wages. Just keep him in the team. Please, Arteta, just do that. So I appreciate you guys watching and hitting the like button. Make sure to hit the like button if you haven't yet. I think we almost at like, how many? I think almost like 8K, 9K or something on Facebook, and we are close to 10K on Everything Arsenal on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to follow the page. I'll be giving you updates throughout. Thank you for watching. Keep staying safe. Nicolas Pepe is back, by the way. His team got eliminated. I'll catch up with you guys soon.